Hello and good afternoon, everybody. I'm Micah here alongside Kay
Hi.
for another exciting episode of Local Experts Atlanta. What is on the agenda for today?
Today we are going to talk about finding a dentist in your area.
Right, and this is generally for the Atlanta area, the greater Atlanta area, but if you're anywhere in the country, you should be able to use this guide and find a dental professional that kind of works for you and fits your needs, and that should be the number one thing that you take away here. Everybody's different. Everybody's got different needs, so finding something that works for you is going to be pretty important.
hmm
So before you find the dentist, take
There are a few things that you may need to know
right.
and take time out and let's discuss it and go over everything with you, and then you'll be more knowledgeable about what to look out for.
How long do you think we're going to be spending talking about this?
We will talk about this issue for about 15 minutes.
15 sounds just about right. So let's go. Let's do it. This should be a pretty nice ride. Well, first of all, obviously this is something that is important.
Yes.
Your smile has a big impact on every corner of how people relate to you.
hmm It's the first thing that people see, and first thing that people will notice is your smile.
Your work life.
Yes.
Your Does it matter for your home life at all?
Yes, it matters.
So and especially if you have a child that's still in school, this can have an impact. So this means a lot, and there are a lot of reasons why you might be looking for a new dentist.
Right. And especially since, having good dental health also affects your overall health in general.
It's true.
Um, and, you can't just rely on any kind of recommendations. You want to be able to check out certain things. You may be moving
Right.
to a new area and not quite familiar with where to go and who to see. But here are a few ideas on what you should look out for.
Right. And you might just not like your current dentist, and you also just might have a dental issue that your current dentist is not really equipped to handle.
Not specialized in.
Right.
Yeah.
And at first glance, there are a few things you want to think about. Travel time is
Yes.
obviously pretty important.
Yes. Obviously, a lot of people are very concerned about how far the dentist's office is from their particular location. And, you want to find something that's relatively close to your home or close to your job or close to your school so that you can easily commute.
Right. Because if you've got to go like an hour and a half up and back, it kind of makes it a little easier for you to like delay it and not actually want to go and handle it. You also want to look at any kind of special needs that you might have, and that's kind of a big basket.
Right.
But
But especially as far as the office access is, you want to call ahead, make sure they have facilities that they can take care of someone that's maybe handicapped, whether or not they're child friendly or if they specialize in mostly adults, whether or not they're able to be able to use cosmetic surgery, how often they've done it. Also, every dentist doesn't do everything, and everyone has their own specialty. So you should always check that out and verify the information before you go into the office.
and this is going to be one of those things where if you have a list of 20 dentists, that are in your local area, this is going to be one of those things that helps lower that list to 3 or 4 or 5 people that you can actually call up and interview and speak to
Right.
before you make that final decision. Your amenities are also going to be important. There aren't a lot of people who love going to the dentist. You love going to the
No, no.
nobody does. So you want to find wherever you end up going, you want to feel like, hey, I feel comfortable being
Right.
there and I like being there.
Right.
And that can be something as simple as just what the room is, whether it's cool, whether it's hot, whether it smells nice. The seat that you're going to be in, is there a pillow? Because some of those places have some really elaborate structures to kind of support your neck, because you're going to be laying there for kind of a while. And you also want there to be a continuing education process. This is not a one-step thing.
Right. Most dentists, they're qualified. They always go in for refresher courses. They want to be up to date on their technology and their techniques,
Right.
and they want to be able to pass that on to you. So you want to make sure that your dentist is in a position where he is practicing and he's active in his community and further education.
And that's important because you can sometimes have a dentist that has 15 or 20 years of experience and has gotten used to one specific particular way to do things. And that way that, might have been functional 15 years ago might not be the most up-to-date way to do things that are based on the most current understanding of dental practice. So when you've narrowed things down,
Right.
you're going to be ready to make those
To
phone
make the
calls.
phone call and get in contact.
Right. So what are you going to be asking?
You should ask about certain particulars about where they're located. Ask about parking. Ask about whether or not they validate your parking if they're in a big local office or close to a hospital in association with that. You should also ask when and why they make referrals
to a different dentist.
right, to a different dentist in case of a specialty for your particular issue.
And that's important because it's kind of a way to set up a red flag, because if a dentist implies that they won't refer you to anybody else, it's like a good sign that they are more interested in your business than in your overall health.
Right.
You also want to look for offers that are targeted towards new patients. And this will usually get advertised, but not always. So, whenever you're about to call someone, you should ask about it, because, your health is important, but
Sometimes they'll have, certain offers for to gain new customers, and sometimes they'll have certain specials at different times, or sometimes they'll have different referral programs, to
Right.
to attract new patients.
right. And, it's always good to save a little money, even if you're working on, your physical structure here. You also want to ask about insurance. And, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of the dental industry, but some dentists work with more insurers than others. So if you are a dentist and you are working with a lot of insurers, you're basically eating a lot of your upfront payments, and your business is basically going to run off volume. And you've got a lot of referrals coming in from a lot of different places.
Right.
So if you are working with somebody and they don't take a lot of insurance, their money comes directly from their patients. So they're going to have fewer patients, but the care is going to be a little more deeply individualized.
Yeah.
And
I think the main thing that people worry about when they're going to a new dentist is whether or not the dentist will accept their particular brand of insurance,
Right.
because everyone has their own type of insurance.
right. But it's important to think about that large scale, just because it's going to kind of affect your quality of care. You also want to ask about
Whether or not they can help you relax.
Right.
Most dentists know that a lot of people dislike going to dentists,
correct.
and it may be a situation that requires them to use a little extra added patient care.
Right.
And sometimes we require a little bit more attention, especially for little kids, and
Right.
also for adults too,
Yeah.
because it's very difficult to deal with the situation when you are in pain, and that's a very difficult thing to deal with.
Most dentists have some sort of sedation dentistry technique.
Yes.
Some of them will advertise it in big letters, as their hook to get you in the door. A lot of people offer it and just don't mention it at all. And obviously, if you're a dentist, you're not a stranger to nervous patients.
Right.
You also want to look at the source for their before and after photos. A lot of people don't know this, but there are companies that will actually make before and after photos and sell them to dental practices.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, but it is true. So you want to,
Your dentist should be able to direct you to their own
right,
actual customers in a slideshow presentation regarding your particular dental issue. And I have experienced that before, and it's really good. They go through the entire procedure of what needs to be done to you before, and that way he gets to show off his work as well.
right. And finally, can they help people who are like you? And we don't mean, I'm 40 years old and I like NASCAR. We mean people with your unique dental situation.
Issue, yes.
Right. And you want to see a dentist that has some kind of experience with the procedures that they are
Right.
recommending for you. So if you need something like,
Veneers,
right,
updated fillings. No one is using
An
metal
implant.
fillings anymore.
an implant, whatever it is,
Right.
you want somebody that has some
That
experience
has
in placing
experience.
that. And when you finally go in for that first exam, you've narrowed it down from 20 to 5 to 1, and you're actually going in there in person. Or maybe you've got like 2 different places and you just want to get checked out.
I usually go with 3.
Right,
Top 3.
right. You don't want to wait forever, and you also don't want to feel like you're being rushed in and out. Just because that can be a really hectic experience. You want it to feel, even if it's a busy office, like you're getting individual care.
Right.
And you want like an in-depth check of a lot of your individual attributes that kind of measure up to your total dental health.
Right.
So that might be your actual dental work, as in terms of the teeth, your gum health. They should also examine you.
That's also a great time to ask any questions
Right.
regarding the procedures and the fees, and anything that you have issue with. They can directly address it.
Right. And they're also going to check for potential diseases or anything else
Right.
like that. And as we touched on, those billing issues and those appointment issues, they've got to be discussed in depth. So as soon as the dentist does that look over and they say, well, you need X,
Right.
you want to be able to feel comfortable opening a discussion about that. And that's going to be just a way for that dentist to build a personal rapport with you. You want to discuss what are the risks of doing X? What are the benefits of doing X? And most dental issues have more than one fix. So you want to hear about alternatives whenever possible.
Right.
Hey, there are like 3 different ways of solving this problem, but we're choosing this one because it's faster, because it's less expensive,
Right.
because it provides less risk, or
Their recommendation based on their knowledge and their experience through years of training.
right, or they've got a compounding issue. You've got a compounding issue, and they don't want to bump into it. Whatever it is, you want all of that talked about, before you commit to something, and you also
Yeah.
want
You want to give numbers
right, as in terms of
discuss before anything happens. Make sure that you are fully comfortable with the amount of money that is being charged for their service.
and sometimes there can be a payment plan.
Oh yeah, they always offer a payment plan. Most dentists are very flexible with you. They want you to be healthy, and the money should not be an issue.
Right. So that's it. Usually these are a little bit longer, but I think we've covered all of the really important things to kind of help you narrow the field, things to, say when you're having that initial conversation, and, when you're going in that office for the first time. And remember, the most important thing is that you personally feel comfortable, that it's a person that you like, that you get along with, and, that cares
Can make
about
you a little less nervous going into the chair.
Exactly. So that is it for Local Experts Atlanta. I'm Micah,
I'm Kay.
and this has been another great episode. So, hey, thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.